It says connect streaming software. Okay, now it's gonna let me go live.
Do you see us?
There we goes gray. Yes.
Okay.
We're live. We're live. We're live. I've never gone live through YouTube before. I've only ever used streaming software. So I was like, what? How does this work? Hi, everybody. Welcome to F the Algorithm, the algorithm where we F. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Bridget Empire. Hey, Haley Unknown. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here.
I want to see the chat.
Hello.
Vivian Strange, Innocent Fugitive.
Rosenkreutz?
Yes.
Haley Unknown. Open a tab, Keelan. Check out the chat. Say hello. I'm going to say...
There's too much going on my end
hi.
for a whole tab. I'll pull it up on my phone.
Just open a half a tab. You can handle half a tab.
Oh, okay.
How is everyone doing? So we're all across different time zones right now. It's 11:04 at night here in Manila, where I am. And then Neil and Sarah and Mika, you guys are in like the middle of the day on Sunday. Yeah.
It's for you, right? Yeah.
It's June 25th.
Afternoon. Yeah. Same day. Well, hello from the future.
Ooh.
Yeah.
World still hasn't ended.
And Kaylin and Mandy are just starting their day. Mandy is a fox today. An evil witch has transformed her into an adorable purple fox. And I think we're gonna keep her this way for a while because just look how cute she is.
I'm kind of okay with it, honestly. I think it works for me.
Mm-hmm. You make a very good fox.
I mean, as curses go, this one's pretty chill. Like,
yeah,
I'm
not in a hurry.
I'm a little bit jealous. I'm like, I wish an old witch would make me into a fox now. Drop into the chat which animal you'd like a witch to turn you into. All right. Hi, Silver Samaritan. Hi, Legal Kimchi. All the friends are here. Welcome, everyone. Without further ado, because we're all in different time zones, this is going to be like a little bit of a shorter FTA this month. Because I really don't want to stream past 1 a.m. my time. So we're keeping it short and sweet today. Kaylin and I are both going to skip presenting any videos this month because we've both had kind of crazy months. But we're hosting on my channel. Welcome. Is that really why? Oh, I just thought you were busy.
No, it's both. It's one came from the other. Sarah was just very nice.
It was Sarah Theft
to help me.
Oh, okay. So we're keeping it short and sweet tonight. And in the spirit of keeping it short and sweet, let's get started. So we're going to start with Neil. Neil has got a video by Hyphenated History. Whose pronouns are she, them. Neil, can you tell me a little bit about this video before we start and like what kind of the reason you chose it and the reason you chose the section you chose?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so we'll do our speed run FTA. I'm short and sweet, and this is a very good video. Basically, Hyphenated History jumped out to me because, well, at the moment I've got like a personal bit of a backlog of people I want to feature on F the Algorithm, and unfortunately we haven't been able to do as many streams as we would like. So in the spirit of getting to do them more often, we're just going to do a fast one, and we're going to do it like we're doing it come hell or high water this time is what this stream is. So I'm finally getting to feature like a bunch of the people I've wanted to feature for a long time. Hyphenated History stuck out to me because well, you're all probably familiar with like people like Sargon of Akkad or like Count Dankula or whatever, and they will tend to, these sort of right-wing trollish type folk will tend to make a big deal out of the sort of racism you have in the United States. You shouldn't export to the rest of the world. And, you know, we do racism differently here in Britain. And let me tell you about why it doesn't exist. And so, speaking as someone who's not from the United States, it was very, very refreshing to actually come across somebody talking about racial identity from a British perspective. So so Hyphenated History, Hyphenated J on Twitter. She's great. She like breaks down basically the history and social phenomena associated with racism and racial identity in the United Kingdom and in Europe broadly. And this particular video is great. It's like it's quite contemporary because it's looking through the lens of like Meghan Markle, which is a very British racist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is very interesting. But I just picked the first like few minutes because there's an interesting bit with Gary Lineker early on as well, where it's just like it just goes to show the extent to which they really are just bad racist folk. And so it is funny, it is pithy and witty, and as a presenter and creator, Hyphenated J reminds me a little bit actually of Mika. Just I got that same vibe of just like but just a wit, just a good old fashioned wit, and so I was instantly like, oh, this is a great creator. This person needs to go places, and so I suppose that's all I can say to spoil it, and then we can just watch it together and see what we think.
Cute. So we're ready. We're good.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Ready.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
How does racialization as a verb work in the British landscape? A hugely important concept, largely neglected in favour of its more famous relatives, race and racism, it's a fundamental element in understanding the UK, and yet a lot of the accessible information focuses primarily on how it functions in the States, which isn't not helpful. The resemblance between the two systems is striking after all, given their common root in white supremacy and colonialism. It's also abundant, you know? I mean, consider the fact that it was only in 2017 that the first Black Studies course became available, not just a British university, but in a European university in general, introduced by Dr. Kahindi Andrews at Birmingham City University. Speaking of, what got me to do this video actually was the recent Harry and Meghan series that just came out on Netflix, which Dr. Kahindi Andrews actually features in. It got me musing on the fact that Meghan, who comes from the land of the one-drop rule, a country that used to have literal legislation determining race, wasn't racialized in the States. Her words, and I'm not going to contradict how anybody else describes their experiences.
Never in my life heard someone say the N-word. Very different to be a minority but not be treated as a minority right off the bat.
But was racialized when she arrived here in the UK, famous for such phrases as, "We don't have problems with race like they do in America."
Obviously now people are very aware of my race because they made it such an issue when I went to the UK, but before that, most people didn't treat me like a Black woman.
Mind you, far-right and fascist ideology has been a part of mainstream politics not just in the UK but across Europe for decades. And immediately preceding this period was imperialism and colonialism. And then there's the fact that you can barely pause to take in the scenery without taking in the ever-present and ever-looming Islamophobia, the anti-Ziganism, the anti-Semitism, anti-immigration sentiment reaching bloodthirsty levels, great replacement theory winning elections and influencing policy. So, what's actually going on under the hood of the kind of society that would have even English as they come, Gary Lineker experience racial abuse? Let alone Meghan, who has a whole Black parent.
So I was like, this tiny geeky kid with like, darkish skin, and I it's pretty much racist abuse. Although I'm as English as they come.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Even in professional football, I had that a couple of times. I wouldn't ever name any names.
The kind that speculates over facial features, finds even the finest of hair difficult if it has a curl to it, and if that curl can be attributed to ethnicness. Questions you about where you're from. Speculates about what your unborn children will look like.
So incredibly short, just incredibly short, like little teaser, because there's no good place to stop after that. For the whole rest of the video, it's just banging. It's just like there's no good.
First, we need to understand what racial.
No, you're supposed to stop.
She has more to say.
They don't want to. They don't want to stop.
Can someone drop a link in chat to the video?
On the desk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, somebody was asking.
I just wanted to jump in quickly because I actually have seen this entire video. I actually have seen a couple of Hyphenated Histories videos because I think I saw a very clever comment on Twitter and started following them and then was like, oh, they're a YouTuber, I'll click the video. And I clicked this video and I watched the whole thing and I was like, this is incredible. And I went to leave them a comment as our channel, the Leftist Cooks, and then saw that Neil already had done it like a month before. So then I was very cross with Neil and like, why didn't you found a new person and you didn't even tell me?
Because we do a whole thing where we show them to each other in a formalized manner.
No, but it's very, very good. Hyphenated Histories is so good. That was such a small fragment, but like if it appeals to you, you should absolutely go follow the link, find the channel. It's really good.
Yeah. And like that very dry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good. And like I feel like the kind of what they were alluding to when they said that like the line there is like, we don't have race problems the way they do in America. Like the disenfranchisement of Black British people is so seldom addressed publicly in comparison to the disenfranchisement of Black Americans. And I feel like this is like an important topic to educate ourselves on. Like the major example of that the first example we can all think of is Meghan Markle,
Yeah,
because
and
it's just not discussed.
And like there's so few content creators, Black British content creators out there, because like I mean the demographics in the UK is a lot different to that in America. There are not many Black British people as a percentage of the population, and then the percentage of them who can be content creators again is very small. So uplifting Black British voices is incredibly important. I've been following Hyphenated J on Twitter, that's the Twitter handle, for a while. I've been shouting out her videos on Twitter for a while, so I was really happy to see that Neil picked this one.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, thank you.
At least 3 of us that have come to their material separately. And yet at the same time is like not, I mean, like in to be fair, from a marginalized background, like we will get into why we do this platforming people on the algorithm stuff and how the algorithm disproportionately affects creators from marginalized backgrounds. But to be fair to Jay, like the amount of views that they have on that video is actually doing very well. Although it would seem that we have all come to, basically because we're like video essay nerds, we've all come to this same great creator kind of organically and separately. It is still a thing of going on like, yeah, okay, but why not more though? Come on, why hasn't everybody?
Why not more?
Always more.
More.
Well, more now.
And that is the spirit of F the algorithm. Give me more.
More.
I want more. Streaming more leftist content right into your eyeballs.
Hell yeah.
But before we move on, Kaylin, Mandy, do you have any comments about that, or?
Not really. I think everything that I had to say was basically covered. I was not aware of this person before this, so I will be subscribing myself very shortly and watching some more of their videos because I really like this one.
I just subscribed and went to Twitter and followed like immediately.
Heck yeah.
Good reminder to everybody watching the stream to go subscribe right now and go follow on Twitter. All right, so breezing right along in this short F the algorithm. Mandy's up next. This is Iridium. Am I saying that correctly? Iridium.
It's actually Ardum. I double checked this because I think I was pronouncing it wrong before. Yeah, Ardum.
Thank you for checking, Mandy.
Ardum. No problem. Also,
Thank you
my curse has lifted. Maybe we'll see. There it is.
Oh,
okay.
oh!
I was like, yes, you turned into 2 purple dots.
My transformation is complete. Yeah, so it is Ardum. I double checked it. She realized.
Thank you, witch, but also like maybe not thank you, witch. Yeah, she's like, oh, this isn't a curse. This is a blessing. So this is Ardum's video. Ardum's pronouns are they, them, and their video is called "A Beautiful Spring Afternoon: A Coming Out Story." Mandy, tell us a little bit about why you chose this video and why you chose the segment that you chose.
Yes. So I want to give a shout out to another one of our fellow creators, Fantastic Mr. Fox, because he shared this in a Discord server that I think all of us actually might be in, Praxis Town. And I watched the trailer for this video because Ardum went big on this, made a trailer for this video and was like, this is like a movie theater trailer. This is incredible production level. So then I went and watched the video and fell in love with the style and everything. So I chose this particular section because it feels like a good like little sort of snippet of what represents the rest of this incredibly made, very personal, but also just still very joyful and well-made video. So I hope everyone likes it because I adore this person and I think they're going to blow up one day for sure.
I heard production quality and now I'm like, everybody shut up, let's watch it.
Right.
Okay.
Whole life. So take my hand and learn a thing or two about me and the general trans experience. Please keep your hands and feet inside the emotional roller coaster at all times. No eating or drinking is permitted on the ride. Aww. Okay, fine, you can eat. Nothing crunchy though. I don't want ants. Some groundwork for you. 9 times out of 10, people conflate or confuse the difference between sex and gender. Of all the things to screw up, this is not the one. I would say that they're sisters, but that's not even true, because sex is an only child and gender is her imaginary sister. Allow me to explain. It was a dark and stormy night on the Italian peninsula.
Some with gloves, masks, and compounds of untoward reactions. The utensils of ornaments set bloodstained and idle. Now there was only to pull with the hands. A local church throne begins to mutter a prayer in hopes that any godmother may listen to her worthless nagging. And then, at the second knell of the tower,
and that's the story of how I was born. Happy birthday. I popped out into the doctor's arms and he said, "Hey, un ragazzo." It was probably in English, but I wanted to speak more Italian. Femi cosa. It's a boy. Great. Wahoo. What does he mean by that? He means that the sex of this baby is male, and so I assign it as such. Sex is a biological status determined by characteristics like what's between your legs, what hormones do you produce, what color is this dress. That last one doesn't have anything to do with sex, but it is important, and there is a right answer. Answer the question, goddammit. Sex is a purely biological and natural thing. We cannot change our sex. Ever. Well, some animals can, like frogs, but we're not frogs. We're chimps. Therefore, we're not too concerned about sex. We leave her alone. She's doing great. She's got a hustle going. She's got her own show, her own website. We love sex. Wink. What we don't love is her imaginary sister. Gender, more often than not, is used as a stand-in for sex. Because for some reason, we as a society have a deep-rooted fear and nervousness whenever we talk about the S word. Even though we're not even talking about 70% of Game of Thrones. Gender actually is the socially constructed roles people play in a society. Today's buzzword is social construct. I'm glad you asked, whispers beyond the veil. Am I in danger? In short, because I'm no philosopher, a social construct is an idea or set of ideas created and accepted by a people in a society.
What is that there boy wearing? Men are supposed to be men, goddammit!
Okay, semi-aggressive prospector, but what do you mean by that? Because whether you realize it or not, you're talking about something different from being male. Harry Styles is no less male than The Rock, but according to Mr. Prospector and society, only one of those males is a man. Gender is about all the stuff that comes after birth, after sex.
Men work out, they watch sports, and try to be good fathers by maintaining a reasonable emotional distance between them and their children.
Wait a second. This is what we mean when the kids on TikTok say that gender is made up. The standards of what a man or woman should be are made up and ever-changing. It was once unladylike for a woman to wear pants, and unbecoming of a nobleman to strut from his home without his wig. But now, that's changed. Women wear leggings, and men wear toupees in shame. Therefore, it's a social construct. Unfortunately,
Yay!
I love them.
I don't want to stop.
I want to
ending
be
the
their
stream.
best friend.
I just want to go watch
I
this.
know.
Sorry,
And
suckers.
It's so funny.
Right? They're so funny. They're so charming. Like this whole video is just riveting from beginning to end. So definitely everyone should go watch the whole video, like the video, comment on it, and check out the rest of their channel. They talk about their transition. They talk about the reason why they're named Artem. Just like go check them out, please. Like they're so charming, and also they're really young, and their production quality is already so good. Like they're gonna be amazing in even just 5 years. Like I think they're only 19, 18. Like they're really young, and like they're already so talented. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna quit YouTube. I'm quitting.
That was my first thought. I'm like, okay, pack your bags. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
sorry everybody.
it's over for us hoes.
All us old crippled people over here that are just like, our walkers.
They're just so funny, so concise, so clever. Like it's oh gosh, I need this video is genius.
It's the semi-aggressive prospector.
Okay. So you all know what to do, right? Everyone go subscribe.
I just turned on notifications.
And in the meantime, while you're subscribing, you're liking, and you're ringing that bell, Sarah, you're up next. You've brought a video by Soul Bunny, whose pronouns are she, they, and the video that you've brought is Transphobia and Misogynoir. Very important and very depressingly relevant topics. Can you speak a little bit to why you chose this video and why you chose the timestamp that you did?
So,
excuse me first.
Okay, yes. So Neil has to leave because we're on parenting duty, and
bye, Neil.
I get to.
Hi, Neil. Say hi to the kids.
I will say hi to the kids from everybody here and everybody in the chat and all the creators we've featured. And that was a really good video. And I know the Soul Bunny video is also very good.
Do.
And you got it. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Okay.
Neil.
So, I actually, it would be unfair for me to be like, so this is why I picked this video, because I didn't, Kaylin did, and but then I heartlessly, in the days before the stream, was like, oh, I still have to go and pick all the videos, and the thing was, this video was actually supposed to be featured on last month's stream, but last month I was a jerk and picked 2 different people, and that's part of why we ran out of time. So poor Soul Bunny didn't get to be picked, and now I've poached them from Kaylin. So I wanted to poach them from Kaylin though, because I had in the month since stumbled across Soul Bunny myself, watched every video on their channel, and they're really, really, really good. So this video is heavy, so that's a warning, and we're just watching the first 5 minutes, so that's some stuff that probably a lot of people watching will already know. But I think you'll get what an excellent storyteller she is just from the clip. And like her other videos are fantastic, and like if I can be direct, she released another video in the last month called White Queer Behavior, and it's also phenomenal, and it has 4.9 thousand views. And, this video and that video both discuss some pretty valid criticisms about trans issues and how they're not necessarily discussed with intersectionality as the focus, not necessarily discussed with the sort of intersectionality they deserve. And the disproportionate amount of violence against BIPOC trans people kind of gets glossed over in some spaces. So I think a lot of Soul Bunny's work kind of works to address that. And they're really good videos. This video's good. Her most recent video is really good. Just, yeah, I will stop ruining it, but it's so good. She's such a talented creator.
You were not ruining it. Thank you for saying everything my fried brain it was unable to. Are we ready? Are we good? Okay.
2022 was a whirlwind for trans people, flooded with anti-trans legislation and targeted hate crimes. Lives lost to this culture war that the right created to justify stripping away rights from trans people. Republicans like Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are leading this country's anti-trans push. This will ultimately lead to a trans genocide. And yes, I said trans genocide because they're attacking our very livelihoods. They want to make life as a trans person even more unbearable. They're detransitioning minors, required dead naming in schools, and even as far as taking away children from affirming parents. Some states like Florida removed HRT from healthcare coverage that many of us rely on. There's thousands of trans women with bottom surgery that need their estrogen to stay alive. This is nothing less than an intentional trans genocide.
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom?
Going back to the summer, I want to laser in on a viral moment on Twitter. Jordan Peterson, the face of the manosphere, was banned on Twitter for his transphobic tweets against Elliot Page. Elliot simply had a shirtless photo shoot and interview with Time magazine. Jordan Peterson even went as far to call Elliot's top surgeon a criminal, all while dead naming him, which ultimately led Elliot's Page's dead name to trend. Jordan Peterson's banning got covered on the Hills Rising show that went completely transphobic when 2 right-leaning co-hosts defended Jordan Peterson, with the false narrative of Jordan Peterson being banned for dead naming when in reality it was for the violent transphobia. There was so much said, but let's laser in on a few clips.
I guess we should not say it because maybe that would violate some policy.
It's a dead name. I mean,
but that's crazy.
Why is it?
I don't understand.
Why is that any crazier than people change their name? Call me this. Call me this. I prefer to be called
right. But to not even be allowed to acknowledge that you used to have a different name.
You can acknowledge,
crazy to me to say that we're
but
not
you see
allowed
how, but do you see how we sat here and we had this whole discussion? We acknowledged that they used to have a different name. We acknowledged that they had this life before that, but we never called them the name.
Well, no, it's tiptoeing around.
My point is, it's that simple. You're not, but you're not allowed. We had the whole conversation. Yes. What is the problem with that? You're not allowed to call somebody by a name that they don't go by anymore. Big deal.
We shouldn't be not allowed. We shouldn't be not allowed to say what a person was for decades.
This was disappointing but not shocking to see Kim and Robbie list off almost all the transphobic talking points. They argue for the right to dead name trans people, packaging it as a right to free speech. They believe big tech shouldn't have the power to ban people for hate speech, which is arguing for social media to not have terms of service. Kim Iverson even went as far to use Prince changing his name to a symbol to falsely equate trans people's names. Kim earlier in the segment ignorantly stated the need to separate trans women from women. She brought up the trans athlete discourse, which is blatantly transphobic. Trans people's only ally in the situation was defense attorney Olemi Olurin. She held it down for trans people with the pushback she gave her co-hosts. That's the type of energy trans people need when it comes to pushing back on transphobic misinformation. A few weeks later, Olemi Olurin went on The Vanguard to discuss her viral segment, further dismantling her co-host's shock to their backlash they got for their comments.
I expect all the topics are pretty, the segments are very right-wing. I think right-wing talking points, right-wing perspective. I expect to be in the minority as opposed to Robbie and Kim or whoever else I'm on there with. But it was just so transphobic. It shocked even me. It was like, it was the last segment for the day. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting ready to wrap up. I think, I see the topic that we're going to talk about, Macy Gray and Bette Midler. And I think I'm going to give my little 1-2 address how transphobic their comments are. And in the middle of that, they cut me off to basically get all their transphobic highlights off. It was like every talking point for transphobia got brought up. Like it went from Macy Gray and Bette Midler to trans athletes to pronouns to dead naming. I was like, they started off the segment by being like, both Kim and Robbie were like, I support trans rights. You don't. You know how I know you don't? You don't even want to call them by their name. The base minimum respect of calling them by their name, you can't have that. Kim even followed up on Twitter by calling it, why should they get special treatment? I mean, no one was banned because they dead named anybody. That's not what happened. This person went in there and spewed like violent transphobia, and that's why they got banned. And that's an entirely different conversation. But instead, they raised this straw man mischaracterization, this whole argument that, people are being silenced from dead naming and blah, 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 blah. And all these different nonsense free speech arguments that they clearly don't believe in just based on their own response to the negativity they've gotten for that segment.
Soon after the Hill segment, Kyle Kalinske from The Secular Talk had an interview with Jordan Peterson discussing his Twitter ban.
I just have to say, Jordan, I think it's a little bit of a moral panic. I just don't see some sort of, frenzy of
what
people
would you
wanting
consider,
to become trans.
First of all, that's a hell of a way to put it.
What?
Why don't you take a look at the increases in surgical interventions and see what you think? I mean, how many do you think is too many?
But you said something to the effect of, remember when pride was a sin and the criminal physicians...
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Criminal physician, exactly. So my question is the physician really criminal? If you agree that adults can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
Not everything legal isn't criminal. And do they have that right? See, I would have left Ellen Page alone if she hadn't been parading her new abs in a fashion magazine. How many kids do you think she can convince to convert?
And that now we sort of let the boot off the neck a little bit.
What used to be suppressed?
The entire LGBTQ community. I mean, it was very recently we even got gay marriage in the United States.
First of all, they're not a community.
Let me ask you this. Would you ban transition surgery for adults?
I don't know.
Really?
The face of the manosphere went completely mask off, doubling down on his anti-trans rhetoric. Kyle was right for calling him out for Jordan Peterson's moral panic, believing celebrities don't have the right to transition due to the false assumption that it would convert minors to being trans. The whole trans people are groomers talking points that you expect to hear from libs of TikTok. His long pause was a self-report showing us that his ideal world, he'd ban trans surgeries for adults. His own fans criticized him for his inability to mask and effectively communicate their hateful ideology.
Oh my god.
I think I just finally learned what it's like when people watch my videos. I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's rough.
This hurts my feelings. Why would they make me watch this? And I'm
rough.
like, oh, okay. So this is.
Sound off in the chat if you're mad right now.
I'm like,
mad.
I'm
drop an anger emoji if you're mad, and drop a crying emoji if you're sad.
I'm like spicy right now.
Holy shit,
I'm
that was painful.
so mad.
And I'm not even
I'm
trans.
so
I
mad.
can't imagine. For all of our people watching, I hope you're doing okay. It's okay if you needed to walk away, get some water, take a lap, whatever you need right now. Like, that was rough.
Yeah, Mandy in the
Jesus.
chat was like, if you need to leave, leave. And I was about to unplug my headphones and walk out of the room. But I was like, I don't think she's talking to me.
I'm not.
Not you.
That's okay. We need you. We can't run this without you.
This is like our podcast.
Right.
We're traumatizing Kaylin for the clout. Anger-inducing, but very important.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree, right?
Soul Bunny is so good.
And very well put together. Very, like, I mean, like a good rhetorical strategy to like make us that angry as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
because we should be. Everybody should be.
Such a good storyteller. Like, just an incredible storyteller. You can see, like, it's stuff where I said it's like, well, you probably know most of the stuff that somebody put in the beginning of the video, and it's like, yeah, but narrative connection, so smart, so good.
Yeah, I have endless respect for people who have the strength and patience to go watching through all of those podcasts and interviews and talks to kind of weave all this together, because when it is just like that, like one after another, and you just see it presented to you in clips like that, it's unambiguous, it's anger-inducing, and it's necessary work, but it's hard work. That's really hard work.
Absolutely. And Kaylin just dropped a link in the chat to Soul Bunny's fundraiser as well, which we wanted to mention on this live stream. So like many Black trans people, Soul Bunny has got to crowdfund some of their survival money. So if you have anything to spare, please follow the link. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and
Even
sharing
if you've
it
got
helps
like
too.
$5. Sharing it helps.
There's so
Boost
many
it.
of these fundraisers, unfortunately, that like there's this exhaustion that comes with sharing and seeing, because it's very overwhelming to realize like how bad the problem is and like how little you're actually able to do, that sometimes you forget that like you can do a lot just by like quote tweeting, sharing, like posting it somewhere, because you like, even if you don't have money, you do have reach. Even if you only have like 4 followers, like one of them may have just gotten a big fat paycheck and they want to drop some cash somewhere.
They might be like, well, I was gonna go get a frappuccino, but this seems like maybe I'll nourish my soul instead of
poisoning my body.
Instead of my body. And kind of like tangentially, related to that. It's related to that. Let's talk about engagement. With all of these creators, the reason that they're being featured on this channel is because for various reasons, like demographic reasons, content reasons, their videos aren't necessarily hitting the algorithm. So there's kind of like an every little bit helps situation going on with any kind of engagement with their content. So I know like we've been like, you're going and you're subscribing and you're liking and everything, right? But please do that, because it makes such a huge difference. And especially to see like if a number of you go at the same time and watch their videos and like their videos and subscribe to their channels, the algorithm that we are constantly at odds at will notice that, and will note like, oh, suddenly this person's videos are trending, and we'll start to push them more. Really all it takes is like for one video to kind of hit the algorithm, so to speak, or even get like a little bit of a boost, and it makes a massive difference. We've already begun to see it even with our small stream. The FTA boost is small but mighty.
If you all make sure, just to add on, like, do also, it actually doesn't help and can be counterproductive if you go and just like click on the video, like it, and then close it instantly, thinking that that's done something. You also have to like put it on and watch the whole thing. So like, and I remember I remember somebody saying, like, you know, okay, it would actually even help to, like, take a browser, open a browser tab, put the video on mute and do something else. I don't know why you do that, because these videos are so incredible, but, like...
That's for the second time around.
Maybe for the second time.
YouTube does track your rewatches.
Yeah.
Do rewatches so that YouTube will track your rewatch. Just like play it in a quiet tab, and you know, play it with your sock puppet accounts. I know you have them.
Yeah, you nasty little freaks.
Nasty little freaks.
You little sickos. Play all these videos multiple times on your sock puppet accounts. That's what my mom does.
Thank you.
Something else I do want to throw in there too is that we've been trying to put links into the chat. I've been having a little bit of tech issues on my end, so I've been doing my best over here. But we will have like an actual playlist of all the videos on the algorithm when we upload this stream onto our actual channel. There will be a link, a list of all the videos, so you can go through and you can just literally watch everyone, and then you can go to those channels on your own time and see what else they have to offer to you. Subscribe, watch multiple videos, and give them that engagement, just so everyone knows.
We will make it live. We can make the playlist live as soon as this stream ends. We're just last 2 times we had it live as soon as we started streaming, and because we went slightly over and ran out of time, there was an unfortunate incident last time where somebody was on the list but then didn't get their video played, which is a terrible sort of limbo. So we're keeping the playlist close to our chest this time, in the interest of like, okay, we want to make sure we get through everyone first, but then it'll go live as soon as we're done, and you can go look up these videos right away.
Yeah, somebody in chat asked if there's a playlist of all the videos. There's 3 playlists. There's a playlist for every session. So you can watch the stream and then even follow along and like subscribe to everyone on the playlist, like while we're watching, if you want to watch previous streams, because we upload them all to the the Algorithm channel. We're just not streaming on there because it doesn't have enough subscribers yet. So we host on one of our channels, but you could also subscribe there. That wouldn't hurt nobody.
If you want to.
Yeah,
or even if you don't.
Subscriptions are free. Subscriptions are free and plentiful. Okay, moving right along. Mika's up next. Mika, you've chosen a video by the letter 15, pronouns he, him. This video is about one of my favorite boy bosses, Elon Musk versus reality simulation theory. Can you tell me a little bit about this choice?
Teo he's actually been making YouTube videos since he was a child, since he was like 10 or 11 or something. And he actually submitted to be featured on our stream like way back when we first started the stream. So I feel like dues have been paid, definitely. Patience. So like now he's making sort of commentary style video essays about internet culture, pop culture, social issues and things. I went through and watched most of them, and I find them really cool and funny, creative too. This particular video though, I'm happy this was the video he submitted to be featured, because it's actually one of my favorite ones. Elon Musk versus reality. So it's about simulation theory, and the timestamp I've chosen has a brief little introduction for that. But it also touches on Elon Musk, it touches on the metaverse, it touches on TikTok, and then there's also a really quite wholesome discussion of dissociation at the end. So it's kind of all about, I think like the leftist cooks would dig this as well. It's kind of all about how these kinds of ideas that are being pushed by these Silicon Valley tech bros are, it's a product of the alienation of capitalism, and it's not helpful. So yeah, this is the letter 15. Teo, the video is almost an hour long, but we're only going to watch about 5 minutes of it. Let's go.
Okay.
Missed the memo on this one. The tech bros have spoken and we're living in a computer simulation. Sorry. The claim that our entire reality is a simulation was once reserved for late-night discussions at sleepovers where you got high and watched The Matrix. Now, that claim, known as simulation theory, is somehow gaining mainstream traction, largely thanks to the frenzied ravings of Silicon Valley tech elites. Tech billionaire Elon Musk is fully convinced of it.
The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
Science communicator Neil deGrasse Tyson has entertained the idea.
I wish I had a good argument against that, and I do not.
And this same spicy hot take has been published in countless op-eds and think pieces over the past few years, with at least 7 articles about it in the New York Times alone. Apparently I'm supposed to be taking this shit seriously now? I don't wanna, but people are taking it seriously, from Reddit nerds to TikTok influencers promoting skincare products.
I know we might be living in a simulation. I know time isn't real. I know the Sinbad Genie movie existed.
A documentary from last year, A Glitch in the Matrix, explores simulation theory through interviews with one academic philosopher and a bunch of gamers who love Elon Musk. It's mostly the gamers. They're all CGI'd with weird animated avatars as they speculate wildly about the nature of reality. Maybe only a small percentage of the population is actually conscious and the rest are NPCs, non-player characters.
The reason everyone loves to be like, oh, small world, is because it is actually, there just isn't enough processing power to render 7 billion consciousnesses. There are not 7 billion consciousnesses.
Maybe some people from outside the simulation enter the simulation with an avatar.
It really kind of crystallized for me when I started observing the experience of the villager in Minecraft.
Like maybe Elon Musk does that.
It'd be hilarious if Elon Musk was a player character.
Maybe Elon Musk created the simulation.
He just comes into the games like, hey, you guys know, we're simulated.
Maybe Elon Musk is running the universe.
He gets to laugh with his weird extra-dimensional friends that, hey, I was just playing around with that simulation again today.
We've reinvented religion, and Elon is our god now. I'm not gonna spend much time in this video speculating on whether or not reality is real. Instead, I mostly want to use simulation theory to explore a different but related question. What the fuck is wrong with everyone? Have you all just lost your fucking mind? Be warned, the ideas I'll be sharing with you in this video are incredibly dangerous. By watching, you're putting yourself at serious risk of having your mind blown. That's because leading physicists like Elon Musk and a teen I saw on TikTok are currently studying the possibility that we're living in a video game. And they're about ready to conclude, yes. That means your brain is made of code, just like the codes used by the Zodiac Killer in the 1960s, which means the key to solving the murders lies within each and every one of you. Look within yourself, and you never know what you might find. If this video wakes you up to the truth of your reality, I've got a ton more mind-shattering info to share with you, so keep watching. Please keep watching. If you stop watching, I cease to exist. Okay, so why are we in a simulation exactly? Whenever some op-ed writer introduces simulation theory, they're always like, this kind of skepticism towards our fundamental perceptions of reality draws on a philosophical tradition going all the way back to at least the ancient Greeks, with Plato's allegory of the cave. Do you really believe that ancient Greece existed? You fucking sheeple. The world was created in 1999, anything before that's just built into the programming. The most widely cited argument for simulation theory comes from Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom, one of the few people in the simulation theory documentary to appear with a normal human face, in his 2003 paper, Are We Living in a Computer Simulation? Basically, Bostrom is like, Imagine that someday in the future, humanity reaches a point at which we're able to create simulated realities as believable as our own with simulated consciousnesses within them. Just assume that's gonna happen, okay? No big deal. If we reach that stage, computing power will be advanced enough that we'd probably be able to make a shit ton of those simulations. So, say we do that. People just start making simulations left and right. Scientists make fucked up simulations to test what happens if you get rid of gravity. EA releases Sim 17 with actual conscious sim people. Schools go full Miss Frizzle, bringing their students into simulated pasts to learn about history. HBO opens the first official Westworld. Teenage incels make simulations to date hot girls. Elon Musk makes a simulation where he dates Grimes. And surely we're not the only advanced civilization in the universe.
How funny was that?
That was great.
I love it so much.
Amazing. I'm obsessed.
So good. You have to go and watch.
So
the full
funny.
thing.
Oh my god.
Like he does later on. Like so I need to get this out. Like later on, he does this like roving reporter bit. Where he goes like out interviewing people about simulation theory. It's hilarious.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my gosh,
so
yes.
good. I couldn't get a clip together that included those bits, but it's so good. I'm so excited about this video.
Oh my god,
So nice.
I cannot wait.
I love this person.
I hate simulation theory already just based on vibes. So like I was on board before this even began. And like every time somebody brings it up to me, like, have you ever wondered if we're in a simulation? I'm always like, no, that's fucking stupid. That's like a middle schooler's idea of deep. Stop it.
Have you ever
I'm in a
wondered if
bar
the
trying
moon
to
was
get drunk
cheese?
right now?
Like, no, actually, I haven't.
No, I don't. Shut up.
What if we're all the dream of some dog and that dog wakes up? These are high thoughts. These are just high thoughts.
What if there's like a kid holding a snow globe and
shaking it? That's climate change.
Oh, Mika, I love that you picked this person because I've watched some of their videos before. They have one about the Grindr cinematic universe, which is amazing.
Oh my god, I have that on my queue and I never ended up watching it.
It's so good. Watch this
Okay,
video
I know
that
what I'm
we
doing
featured
today.
here, and then watch
Oh my
this
God.
other one because they're both so good.
This person,
We're all so excited. We just can't. We're just talking over each other
Sorry.
now.
Sorry.
I had not heard of this person before, and I'm like, so okay. Like I always am like, I'm gonna go watch these videos as soon as the stream is over. It's so delightful when one just like hooks you so much. Like, no, I want to watch more right now. God damn it.
We just see your camera blink off and you leave the chat.
It's literally what I'll be doing at 2 a.m.
Curled up in your hotel room with a bottle of wine.
Not clickbait. Who said a bottle of wine shitting on simulation theory? Hashtag Elon Musk. Hashtag 3 a.m. challenge. Not clickbait.
2024 working.
2024. Okay. First, okay. I just want to thank everybody for joining us for like super quick FTA. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Glad that we could breeze through this one. This is like the most efficient FTA we've ever had. And I'm so proud of us for that.
Me too.
Please go.
Mika did the schedule.
Yeah, let's say Mika. This is all Mika.
It was.
Mika's kept us on schedule. She's like, "Hang
Oh
on,
my
I got
gosh.
this," and she made this like list, and it was like, "Oh, yeah, that's great. We'll do that."
This spreadsheet gave me life. Like, I was like,
It was.
thank you.
As of Virgo.
Keeping us
Yeah.
on track.
Yeah, and thank you to Kaylin for keeping our technology working. They have gerbils
That's
set up
right.
that are running on wheels right now. They've got
They're
all kinds
so
of stuff
tired.
happening.
Their
They're keeping the
fur's
simulation
falling
running.
out.
Yeah,
They're very stressed.
they're very.
I gotta be honest. I just rocked the fuck up here. I designed a thumbnail while I was putting pin curlers in my hair at like 9 a.m. this morning. And then after that, I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'll see you fuckers in 15 hours.
And that is your right.
As a woman.
That is a woman's right.
A woman's right to choose to not do anything for the live stream.
Yes, queen.
So with that said, we're now rolling up to our final video of the night. We're so fucking efficient. This is Mandy.
Yes. So this is
Mandy
the one
has brought us.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say this is the one that we were supposed to do last stream, but we didn't get to it. So that's why we're putting it in this one. So we apologize that this one didn't happen last time.
Last stream that was not efficient. It was very bloated, but it was so fun. It was so much fun. We were having a good time. We got a little distracted. Yeah. We're all very artistic, so we're not very good at like sticking to a schedule. We're like, oh, like a shiny thing. Let me go talk about that. So Mandy has brought a video by Bridget Empire. This is Real Paleontologist explains how T-Rex became woke. I'm so excited about this. Big small hoot fact is I fucking love dinosaurs. I've got like dinosaur sheets that you've probably seen in my videos. I've got like dinosaur dresses. I have dinosaur sheets that I do have sex on, which is like kind of embarrassing.
I have dinosaur socks on right now, by the way. I purposely wore them for this stream. I'm trying not to flash anybody. Sorry. That's why this is like this.
This is why this is like this.
Yeah, just go with this. It's fine.
I'm having sex on my dinosaur sheets. Mandy's flashing us with her dinosaur socks. Mandy, can you speak a little bit to why you chose this video specific? Because like paleontology, not something that we typically associate with our kind of the things that we have on this channel, but we have had some in the past.
Yeah. First of all, dinosaurs. Who doesn't love to talk about dinosaurs? So that's kind of, that was the main thing, was just like, ooh, we're going to talk about T-Rexes in this video. Okay, I'm intrigued. And then I watched it and was just like, okay, well, Bridget's really funny. The pacing of this is really good. And I think it has this like really interesting like larger world implications outside of just paleontology that I think is really interesting. And I think it kind of, I don't know, I just find it very fascinating. So that was basically why I chose it. And I'm very sorry again that we didn't get to it last time. So I'm glad we get to do it today.
Do we know what
special treat for
do we
tonight.
know what the answer is yet? I'm guessing it's because of the little hands. Because we know what woke is slang for.
Well,
like,
we'll just
are they?
I remember.
Are they?
We do have to watch it. I do remember a controversy around the Apple TV series where people were like, "SJW T-Rex. It's not my T-Rex."
I believe the clip that I picked actually mentions like the initial reasons why.
I'm so excited.
And then later she expands on it. Perfect. So I'm pretty sure.
Woke T-Rex. On the 13th of April 2022, famous newspaper for dickheads, The Sun, published an article seemingly both promoting and condemning an upcoming David Attenborough documentary, Dinosaurs, The Final Day, with the incredible headline, PC Rex, said David Attenborough's BBC One dinosaur show presents softer woke version of T-Rex. The subheading read, woke beat bosses are to reframe the reputation of the terrifying Tyrannosaurus Rex, claiming the raptor has had a bad rap. Now, as a Telegraph columnist, I know I'm supposed to have the back of anyone who writes for The Sun. But, as a paleontologist, every word of this gives me a migraine. Firstly, given that the current chairman of the BBC is a former Goldman Sachs banker who donated over £400,000 to the Conservative Party since 2001, and another board member, Sir Robbie Gibb, was literally the director of communications to former Conservative Prime Minister Theresa May, the woman who presided over the Grenfell disaster and the Windrush scandal. Even if every single person involved in this documentary was a literal member of the Black Panthers, woke beat bosses might not quite portray the current management of the BBC fairly. Secondly, Tyrannosaurus Rex was not a raptor, and as a columnist myself, I must insist that anyone who cannot take 2 seconds to Google raptor before getting paid to write an article for a major newspaper should probably rethink their choice of career. And then we get to the meat of this claim. What, exactly, could they mean by a woke T-Rex? Woke is a term from African American vernacular English, typically meaning alert to injustice in society. And before outlets like The Sun heard the word and had a collective stroke, it was typically used in reference to being aware of systemic racism and how it can affect you. Now, of course, being a prestigious British institution, the Sun cannot simply see what is happening in another country and leave it alone. No. It is an age-old British tradition to take anything that isn't nailed to the floor in any country we see and bring it back home to see if it can't be put to good use berating the pores. What do you know? It could. Makes you proud to be British. The British columnist class, bastion of integrity that it is, uses the term woke entirely devoid of its original meaning. If the Sun says something is woke, it means it is politically correct, or more accurately, something that might make your dad a little uncomfortable. Can't have Gareth rethinking his worldview now, could we? That would be woke. Transgender people existing? Woke. Winston Churchill might have known a war crime or two? Woke. Tyrannosaurus Rex taking a shit? That's woke. That's woke as fuck. That's the shit Charles Gambino was talking about, and this is America. Yes. What the Sun means by T-Rex being awoke is the portrayal of everyone's favourite dinosaur as not constantly ripping out throats, by being gentle, and specifically, taking big monster dumps. Everybody poops? That's woke. And we can't have any portrayals of dinosaurs that portray them as anything other than killing machines. What do they think we are? Nuanced? Please. Nuance? That's woker than a Black Lives Matter march on its way to set fire to Buckingham Palace. Now, to be fair, I'm not entirely blaming Rod McPhee, author of this article, of being bad at his job, or misunderstanding what the term woke means, or even being weirdly protective of a bizarre, cocaine-fueled Tyrannosaurus headcanon that no one has ever believed was accurate. I'm sure that writing 300-word articles about things you know nothing about is very hard, and I should know. I used to be a blogger. To his credit, his Twitter profile didn't have any of the usual blatant transphobia I'd expect of a British journalist, and besides a few choice thirst traps, the only disturbing thing he seems to have liked on Twitter was this picture of Piers Morgan trying to look like a sexy god, which has burrowed its way into the darkest parts of my brain against my will, and will now haunt my nightmares until the day I die. I will say that no matter Rod or his editor's intentions, implying that realistic portrayals of extinct animals is in any way bad, and when they say woke here, they do mean bad, is that it undermines efforts by science communicators to teach the public up-to-date information about our current scientific knowledge, and helps to perpetuate weird and sometimes harmful stereotypes about the animals that I, and I assume you, if you're watching this, care about. Just look at the whole alpha male, beta male, sigma male discourse still haunting the internet these days. All of that spawned from a flawed study of a single family of wolves in captivity. And it's blown out of control into an absolutely batshit idea of sexual hierarchy in men that perpetuates a lot of the creepiest misogyny you'll see this side of Ferenginar. And despite the Sun's rather unconventional use of the word woke in the past, here it makes even less sense. It's a big logical leap to go from a word meaning aware of systemic racial injustice to a black man is on my TV. But it's quite the lateral move to jump another hurdle to woke meaning less murder than I'd expect. If you watch an episode of Law & Order where there's no murder, is that woke? Of course not. But a dinosaur that does more than eat or be eaten? Why, I guess that reminds the Sun's editors of unexpectedly seeing a black man on TV. By which I mean, they say that the left are snowflakes, but one stray poke of the general direction of their worldview, and they fall to pieces faster than a David Peters article. That's a joke for the paleontologist in the audience. Dan, please don't fire me. The point is, it's important that people see nuanced depictions of even long-dead animals, if only to properly educate them. But further, I think people genuinely want to see more accurate portrayals of dinosaurs in the media. Look at the current buzz around the release of Prehistoric Planet. Everything in there looks amazing, and if the Sun had anything to say about my phrasing here, woke as fuck. Fluffy dinosaurs? Woke. Tiny adorable forest things? That's woke too. Whatever this thing is? I've no idea what it is, or how it got there, but it's 100% woke, and I would like to adopt 5 of them, thanks. I already have a parrot. Please don't send me any more dinosaurs to look after unless they're going to eat my current dinosaur. She's an asshole and eats seeds and likes to bite me and shit on the floor. In other words, she's fucking woke too. The funny thing is about this drummed up controversy is that there's really no scientific controversy to this at all. People might recall the back and forth over whether T-Rex had lips or not a few years ago. There are a lot of very, let's say, uninformed people thinking that some far-left paleontologists were trying to push the idea that T-Rex had the All-Stars lips, that it had a pout that absolutely slayed, and not in the way they like with the blood and the killing, but in a way that would be reminiscent of women, and as we all know, women? They're woke. All women are woke. Julie Hartley-Brewer? Never heard of her. Ignore her, she doesn't count. J.K. Rowling? Okay, well, I can't explain that one. She's definitely not woke. Anyway, that's not what these...
Woke as fuck.
I went a little long. I went a little long because I wanted to hear what else was woke.
I love
Everything.
hearing things that are woke.
I'm just writing these all
T-Rex
down.
is
I'm like, okay.
being woke.
The pooping is woke now.
I love that political correctness has gone so far that it is like horseshoe theoried back to like things that are like not like very publicly correct, like talking about poop. Talking about poop in public circles is not politically correct, but I guess if you go, according to the Sun, if you go woke enough, you swing back around to talking about shit.
You're humanizing the dinosaurs by saying they do things that humans do.
They poop, and that animals do. What did they think happened to their poop? Did they even watch Jurassic Park? Don't they remember that bit where they stuck their arms in that giant pile of shit?
Literally a giant pile of shit.
Literally,
that's part of the movie.
Literally
It's canon.
fisting it. Like,
yeah, just reaching right into it.
Yeah.
Homeboy
With
was
those
shoulder
gloves.
deep.
Well, it's not what I expected. I was gonna like, is she gonna explain why all the TERFs have the dinosaurs in their Twitter bio? Still don't understand that, and I've never figured.
I can tell you.
Okay, you should.
Okay.
But I love this video. This is very funny. Even with letting me down. Do you have time to tell me now, or should we tell?
No,
you can tell me later.
It's super quick. Somebody called them dinosaurs because they had antiquated beliefs, and they're like, "Oh, we're dinosaurs, are we?" And then they just ran with it because they have no like individual personalities, or like they're so bored. Like how many coupons can you clip like in a day? Like how many mean tweets can you send? At some point you're going to need an inflatable dinosaur costume, and you're going to need to go stand outside a woman's shelter and yell about how they're monsters. That's just it's a woman's right.
I mean, once you exhaust your sock puppet that yells at trans people and your sock puppet that yells at Meghan Markle, what else have you got to do with your day?
Oh my god. Anyways, this video is amazing.
That sucks. Dinosaurs don't deserve that.
Leave T-Rex alone.
Leave my woke queen alone.
Right.
Sorry, I spoke over you, Mika.
Hello. I love the delivery of that video. It's so funny and it's so on point for how these British commentators talk as well. Like it's nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Yeah.
No, I've happened to see two other videos by British Empire, and both of them were like quick, snappy quips, really witty, really funny, just like so good. So I'm already subscribed, but I hadn't seen this one yet, so I'm delighted by this.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know, like, okay, the worst part about doing this is that I have like a life, but now I don't. I'm like, I'm just gonna like, curl up in bed, like take a little, I don't know, 6 hours to just watch all these videos and then do the things I'm supposed to be doing.
And
I think
this.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I can just go and make our playlist live and so that you can all go and watch all the videos. But you should also look at our main page over on F the Algorithm, because we have all of the playlists. We have our previous streams, but then we also have the playlist for each stream. So if there's one you've missed, there are some incredible creators who are on our previous streams who you should see, especially from the second stream, because that's the first one we did from our own F the Algorithm channel, which does not have many subscribers yet. So the people that were featured on that playlist got the least amount of a boost from us, which is really unfortunate. They're so good.
Yeah, agreed.
Go support them.
Yeah.
Please.
Go watch, go subscribe, please.
They're just as good as these ones. Like, if you liked these videos, you will like those videos. We have very good taste, just saying.
Yeah. We're very sophisticated.
I was about to say, like, the one thing besides, like, you know, leftism in, like, the broadest sense, the one thing that unites all of the people that we choose for F the Algorithm is they all seem like really good hangs. Like, everybody's got such good vibes.
The vibes
like,
are
every
immaculate.
single person, I'm like, I must go find them and be best friends with them right now. I was thinking that the whole video. I was like, yeah, I want to get a beer with Bridget, like, and talk about dinosaurs and I don't know.
Dinosaurs in Turf Island.
And Turf Island. So that's F the algorithm. We zipped right through that. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Does anybody have any like final thoughts before we sign off for the evening?
Before we sign off, we should also mention that if anyone is watching that is a small leftist creator and would like to potentially be on the stream at some point, we do have an email that you can reach out to us. We also do try to like kind of keep an eye out on creators that we come across that we think would be really good for this the stream, but obviously, feel free to email us. We'll try, obviously there's only so many of us. We only have so much time and we are trying to keep these a little more concise. So, if we don't get to you right away, we will try to as soon as we can, but so message us, give us your pronouns. We have a lot of emails. We have a lot of backlog to get through, and then we find more people and we're making our job harder, but it's fun. But email us.
Send us more though, please. Yes. I'm like a junkie for video essays, please.
Please do. So email us give us your pronouns, a little bit about your channel, send us like a video that you think really represents your work. We are requesting that people send us videos that don't have copyright music in them because we could get strikes because of that. And then that could potentially eventually shut us down. So we don't want, so if you can, please send us something that doesn't. Obviously sometimes it happens. So, we'll figure it out. But like we would request if possible, you send us something that doesn't.
Yeah, especially because we're going to be hosting on guest channels. So we do not want to put, like, if we have a guest, we don't want to put their channel at risk for helping us very kindly.
Yeah.
So if you're confused about that, if you use music that you've composed yourself or music from the YouTube library, that's all fine. But if you've just picked your favorite Billie Eilish song to put underneath it, maybe don't send us that video. Maybe hold off and send us a video that doesn't have copyrighted music underneath it.
Mm-hmm. Or even just a section that doesn't.
Yeah, so that's a specific time code. They're like, this is the good spot. This is the sweet spot.
Are we going to put the email in the chat? I don't think I can post links in the chat. We should.
I can't. I tried to post a link to our live stream and I can't do links in the chat either. But
I bet you I can. I'll do it right now. Hang on. I'll get there.
Mandy's like, don't worry, I got it. Hoots has already approved.
I'm in.
I'm like
the hack.
Here, Mandy, let me text you then. Play this.
Do Mika and Sarah not have wrenches?
No.
Sorry about that.
What a hater.
Whoops. There's a rift in the FB algorithm. I thought you all had wrenches. Might be.
Okay, I just put the playlist in the chat so everyone can watch the full thing. There's that.
Thanks, Mandy.
You're welcome.
In the next day or so, I will just set up a webpage. fthealgorithm.com is taken, which is so rude. But we might be like fthealgorithm.FYI or something that's cheap.
Your the algorithm.
Or can we do the EFF the algorithm? F the algorithm.
I'll send a link. I'll send some options to the chat tomorrow.
If you're wanting to know how to submit to us, we've got instructions up as the pinned tweet on the F the algorithm Twitter account. So it's got the email address, and we ask send your name, send the name of the video, send your pronouns, and maybe tell us a little bit about why you like it. And if your video does have copywritten music but not in a specific section, you can tell us what section is safe to look at and stream.
Also, the instructions are like, send one email with the subject help. But that just means that I'm like laying in bed in the middle of the night and I got like a notification on my watch that just says help. And I'm like multiple times throughout the month. It's like, it's a little disturbing. So I might change that that recommendation. It's like,
what you mean?
My heart just races.
Where is it? Oh, there's the...
Oh, it's another video essay. Okay. Oh.
Okay, we good? How are we feeling?
All right. So yeah, with that said, I'm feeling so good. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight on this very special. They're all special. The algorithm. I never know how to end even my videos that are scripted. No. So I want to throw over to my co-hosts. Anybody have any last thoughts or feelings?
I just want to say bye and thank you.
All right. Well,
bye, thank you.
Click.
I like that.
Bye and thank you. I'm gonna go watch Prehistoric Planet again now.
Yeah. Watch dinosaurs poop.